that in either direction, so watch. Organ and tissue donors save lives. Did you know a single organ donor can save the lives of up to 9 people, while a single tissue donor can save or enhance the lives of nearly 50? Learn the facts. Register to become...
8:17 on WMAL. Brian Neiman, Brian Wilson. We're broadcasting live from Tampa, the Republican National Convention. Big speech last night from Paul Ryan, Condoleezza Rice, Tim Pawlenty, Rand Paul, and of course tonight, Mitt Romney. Governor gives his speech, and a very important speech as he tries to become the next president of the United States. And on the line now is Josh Romney, one of Mitt Romney's sons. Josh, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we were just talking about why, and I don't want to start negative, but I have to say, your dad's likability numbers aren't as good as Barack Obama's, but he seems to be a likable guy. Why do you think the likability numbers aren't as high as they should be for your dad?
I don't think people have had a chance to get to know him yet. A lot of what people are seeing are ads put out by the Obama campaign, and so it's not a real surprise that people have a misperception about my dad. And, I think this opportunity at the convention with my mom and dad speaking and other speakers, and the next 2 months, we'll have a great opportunity for people to get to see who my dad really is, not who Obama says he is, but actually what my dad stands for, why he's running for president, the success he's had in life, and what he wants to do for this country.
All right, you're 37 years old. Tell me what it was like for you growing up with Mitt Romney as your father.
He was a really down-to-earth guy, recognized that, he would always point out in our family that the most important work being done around our family was done by my mom, that the work he was doing in the business world, even though he was very successful and doing quite well, that did not have as much meaning as the work that my mom was doing at home, raising the boys, that was work that was forever. And, my mom likes to joke that he was her sixth son, that he was, just as rowdy and would get into just as much trouble as the rest of us. We just had a lot of fun. He was a great dad, really playful and a lot of fun to be around.
All right, so I've been wanting to ask this question. I understand that when it came time to make a decision in the Romney household about whether or not Dad was going to run again, that they took a vote. And I was surprised to hear that initially, in the very first round of voting, it was overwhelmingly against the idea. Why is that?
We were apprehensive. We needed some convincing. We've done this before, and you look at it and what you have to go through emotionally. Your dad's going to get beat up, and we look at our dad. My dad's my hero, and I just look at the life he's lived, and it's like I could not imagine a better president, a better leader for this time than my dad. But even knowing that, we said, well, they're going to find something. They're going to create something, manufacture something to beat him up on, and drag him through the mud and do all this and that. And so it's like, do we really want to go through this again? And do we really want to have our dad be president for the next 8 years and lose him and not have him there for our grandkids as much as we'd like? It's just, you give up a little bit, but at the end of the day, we recognize that the economic situation we're in this country, we absolutely need someone like my dad, someone with his experience, his know-how, and so we all came on board. We're all supporting him as much as we can. We're doing everything we can. We're out on the campaign trail every week doing something, all of us. So we are fighting as hard as we can to get him elected.
Yeah, do you have the bug?
Not really. It's I've still got young kids, so I can't imagine doing anything like this right now.
So, what was it like for you to watch your mom give the speech? I'm sure you've seen this many times before with your father, but your mom to be in the spotlight like that the other night.
It was. It was very emotional for me to see her up there. I thought she did such an amazing job. I think anyone that saw her will have a better idea of who my dad is, what he stands for, why he's running for president. I was just overwhelmed by some of the emotion that she brought and she shared, and so I loved it. I thought she did a great job. I think she's a great representative of my dad.
Yeah, she mentioned how sometimes there'd be difficult days, like when it's raining outside and 5 boys are stuck in the house by themselves. Did you guys ever get any fights growing up? Did anybody any haymakers thrown or anything like that when you guys were 5 boys?
I'm not sure a day went by when we weren't fighting about one thing or another. I'm not sure an hour went by. If we were all together, we were fighting. So it was funny. She used to just say, "Why couldn't I have had at least one girl somewhere who wouldn't fight?"
I got one more question for you, and here it is. give me some little factoid, some little story, some little anecdote that gives us a sense of something about your dad that you think that the American people don't yet know.
You know, my dad is a guy who has duct tape on his running shoes and work gloves. He's incredibly frugal. He hates to waste money. He hates to see money just being spent for no reason. That's why, you know, as governor of Massachusetts, he was able to balance the budget there. They had a $3 billion budget deficit. He was able to balance the budget there, find wasteful areas of spending. He looks at Washington right now, and the $1 trillion a year that we're spending more than we take in, says it just drives him crazy. And he's thinking about what we're going to leave the next generation. Are we going to leave them, you know, basically no Social Security, no Medicare, no Medicaid, and $20+ trillion in debt, or are we going to leave them the same country that we inherited? And so he's really fighting for this for the right reasons. He has great passion, and you know, he's a guy with duct tape on his shoes to keep them together.
All right, Josh, are you excited, nervous for tonight's speech? What's it like?
Yeah, a little both. You know, I'm anxious for him to do well, and hopefully it's going to be a great speech.
All right. Well, enjoy it in the room, and best of luck. We appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Josh Romney, one of Mitt Romney's sons, joining us here on WMAL. Jim Talent coming up, a Romney campaign advisor. We'll talk to him about what to possibly expect out of this big